Deniz, let's talk about this Eagles offense to
Yeah.
start and the changing nature of it post-bye. Nick was asked today again about the approach from the offensive line to him during the bye week, saying we need to run the ball more. And Nick talked about all that good time he spent with Jalen during that time, but he appreciates those conversations. It is pretty clear that this team stylistically is different than it was pre-bye.
It's crazy. I mean, it looks so much like the 2021 shift that Lane Johnson actually explicitly brought up this week. He said, this is a lot like in 21 when we had that Detroit game and we started running it. And he seemed to be saying that was also after a conversation with with the leadership and all that. So I went back and I just looked at
which it conflicts with the narrative from Jonathan Gannon that it was his idea.
I mean, let's not waste Gannon talk when Zach isn't around. Gannon sympathizer. It was all Gannon back in 21. We all know that, but the similarity is striking. So let's start with this year. Before the bye, on early downs, neutral situations, the Eagles were running the ball 49% of the time, 17th in the league, league average. They were just a normal team, right? That was up from 41 and 42% in each of the last 2 years when A.J. Brown had arrived and Saquon Barkley had not, right? So, there had been this change. Now, going into the bye, apparently these discussions happened, and then after the bye, the first thing that struck us, first half of the Cleveland game, we were all what's going on? This is a very run-heavy approach against a team
that's very good against them.
Yes, exactly. And since the bye, so it was 49% before, it is up to 61% run on early neutral situations. That is first in the league, and the third team is at 52% or something.
Yes,
so it's an outlier. And Miami actually.
Downs.
Yeah. Them in Miami and Chicago.
On the season, it's them in Detroit.
Yes, on the season, it's them in Detroit because Detroit has consistently been that way. Now, when you look at this jump from 49 to 61. And then Lane says the thing about 2021. Yeah. Of course, you want to go back and look at that. So I looked at that. Weeks 1 through 7 in 21, it was 39%, which was 26th. Then it jumped up to 59.
Okay.
So it was a 39 to 59 jump. So it was an even bigger jump in 21, extreme. Now, of course, in 2021, Jalen was throwing the ball to Jalen Reagor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a difference. Devontae Smith was on the team, but and that jump from 39 to 59 also came with a huge increase in offensive efficiency and winning, right? It led to a win streak that led to the playoffs. This year, when you look at what's happened due to this jump, obviously there's a 4-game winning streak, right? So you can look at that. But part of that's the opponents, and part of that's the defense has been awesome. It's the passing play numbers that have actually improved more than the run.
Interesting.
When you look at the success rate
on a per play basis, the offense,
EPA,
the passing
and success rate. So since the bye, Jalen Hurts ranks 4th by EPA per dropback. He was middle of the pack before the bye, 1st by success rate. And Jalen Hurts has not been a high success rate player in his career. Even when he had that really good year in 2022, he was kind of middle of the pack in success rate. Success rate has never been the thing. He's had the big plays, so his EPA, and he was very good at avoiding turnovers. And so his overall numbers looked very good, but the consistent play after play of success was not there. It is now. These last 4 games, he's been best in the league at this. Now, when you look at the success rate for the whole team, I just looked at first down because I think first down's a good first down. I mean, first of all, we all know it's the most important down in football. Most plays are first down. And so let's talk about that. First down run rate before the bye was 54%. And now it's 74%. Okay. So just a massive jump. And the run success rate has basically stayed the same. It was 38 before, 39 after.
On just first down or
just
total?
First down.
Okay.
First down passes have jumped up from 25th in the league to 2nd in the league in success rate.
Okay.
Going up from 43 to 67. And the overall success rate has gone up from 16th up to 8th because, despite, I should say, running it so much more. Running in general is less successful. And that's true for the Eagles too. You're always going to be more successful passing it than running it percentage-wise. But this is, I thought these numbers are a decent example of how running it more can help the passing game. And we're seeing it on the film as well with the slightly more, let's not go crazy with it, but the slightly more under center play action and also the more play action overall. So I do think that like the people who argue for run the ball actually have a bit of a point in this case of, look, it's making the passing game better. And that's the only way you can convince me that running the ball is better. Because like at the end of the day, like on average, running the ball is less efficient than passing it, even when you're very good at running it.
Now, the devil's advocate here is that pre-buy, post-buy, it's not just about the running heaviness. It's about A.J. Brown was there for one game of those first 4 games, and now he's played all 4 of these games. This could also just be the effect of A.J. Brown being on the field.
It could be that. You've also played some pretty bad defenses. I think that is true, and I actually wanted to ask you if you think at some point A.J. Brown's going to be like, what the hell's going on here? Like, why am I not getting the ball, right? This is extreme run heaviness right now that we're talking about. And for a team with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, it's very extreme.
Let's think about this like philosophically, right? If you are passing it less, that means that a higher percentage of your pass plays can be funneled to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and, in theory, Dallas Goedert. I mean, we know that the Eagles have always been the heaviest percentage in the entire league of putting their targets on their top 3 guys over the past 2 seasons. But you can probably do that even more if you are throwing it less. And so maybe that does lead to a little bit more efficiency. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure why that would be true. Like
if
does A.J. Brown care about the percent of catches he's getting or the number of catches he's getting?
But
I would imagine that he doesn't feel
if you think I want to get A.J. Brown 10 targets,
right,
and I've got 20 dropbacks versus 30 dropbacks,
right?
I still want to get him his volume, his normal amount of volume, but I'm going to do it at an even higher rate.
Maybe. Look, A.J. Brown has said all the right things so far. He did jokingly say, I want the ball too, the other day, but he was like smiling when he said it. This was actually 2 weeks ago. And he also said, like, I think Jeff McClain was asking him like a bunch of questions about this, and he was like, you're trying to set me up. And then he said, listen, like, if you get 2 targets, try to make it 2 touchdowns, right? So he's saying the right things.
I think as long as they're winning, they're going to be fine.
Maybe. I mean, A.J. Brown like sulked off the field after a playoff win once.
Well, we saw that. I mean, was the Giants game 2 weeks ago? There were a couple, like, AJ's like galloping because he's like, I can't believe he didn't get that ball on that one, the first down pass to Jack Stoll.
Yeah, and we've seen that on film. Like, when you watch the film,
and then there's another one where if you watch the film, he's very demonstratively like asking for the ball. When
you learn AJ Brown is awesome, so this shouldn't be taken as criticism, but like, when you watch the film, you learn 2 things about AJ. One, he gets very upset when he doesn't get the ball when he thinks he should. And 2, he does not really try when he knows he's not going to get the ball. I mean, like the amount of you can just zoom in on him and you can know what the play call is.
He's not super interested in blocking.
No, he's not. He's not. Though he did have that awesome block on the safety on the long Saquon run 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the mic'd up caught him like coming over to somebody and being like, I got a block.
Yeah.
Like, he's like very excited.
Right, like he's Britton
That's
Covey.
That's my favorite thing in the world when a guy like him like sounds like a little kid. He's like, I got a block. Like, I thought that was awesome. So as long as he's saying I got a block like that in that voice, all will be well. But I'm not sure if it's sustainable. Speaking of sustainable,
he's a wide receiver. You want a wide receiver to always want the ball. I think he's arguably the best or one of the top 3 wide receivers in the entire NFL. He totally changes the offense. He's awesome. But I think there might be times when he's going to want the ball more. I also do think like I'm still so weirded out by Devontae Smith being the one guy who was stripped of being a captain, when to me he's like the guy who is the most like the DNA of a guy who you want everybody on the team to be like.
The context
on the entire roster.
The context Nick gave for that, if I recall, was he said last year, I think we had too many.
Yeah. But like, why is if I could pick one captain on the team, I might pick Devontae Smith.
Interesting.
If I wanted one guy,
but hold on, you can't do this. You can't do this without saying who you would have removed the captaincy from. Who would you have removed?
Well, maybe I wouldn't have added Jordan Mailata.
Oh, okay. All right.
He was not. He was.
Because Lane already is. You don't need the second O-line person.
Yeah.
I think that's like a thinking of the future move. Like he's here. He's going to be here. Kelsey and Lane are on their way out. Kelsey's already out.
I don't know what they're like vocally. Yeah. Maybe it's more about. But like if I could have all 53 guys play like with the the play personality of one person on the team, it would probably be Devontae Smith.
I think a great sign of how good Devontae Smith is that he made a catch last week that was almost as good as the Odell Beckham catch. Maybe
insane.
It was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. It happened kind of in front of me, in the stadium, and I was just like, oh my God, he came down with that. That was, and it was it was almost, I think people aren't talking about it. One, because of the Saquon hurdle, which we're going to talk about. Two, because he made it so well that it didn't look as impressive as it was. He caught it with one hand and secured it so quickly. And that it didn't
knew exactly where he
it was that hard to catch.
Got both feet.
Unbelievable.
Athletically rising into the air like the Odell catch is more impressive. But he didn't have to get both feet down in the same way. It was an insane catch.
No, he's got to work on his making it look harder. You know what I mean? Like the guys who dive when they don't need to. He's got to work on that. The fact that Devontae Smith is doing that kind of thing, that drive was all him. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
It was just and people aren't even really talking about him that much. You know what I mean? It's great.
We all silly like the mayor.